Hi Sparkles, it's Jordan Sparks. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be an extremely long overdue Q&A. We actually just hit 40,000 sparkles in the constellation. Yay! Thank you guys, I am so excited. And also at 50,000 subscribers, we are going to be having a big giveaway here on my channel, so make sure to subscribe and let me know what I should give away at 50,000 subscribers down in the comments below. Over a month ago, when I hit 35,000 subscribers, I asked you guys if you guys had any questions for me because I was planning to do a Q&A. Then I ended up getting attacked by my roommate, I ended up moving over a province, and a lot of stuff has happened, and so that Q&A never happened. And today, I finally have all of my new equipment, I am in my new studio, and I am going to be answering all of those questions that you guys asked over a month ago. So if you're interested in that, make sure to give this video a great big thumbs up, smash that juicy red subscribe button if for some reason this is the first video of mine that you've ever seen, and of course don't forget to tap the bell notification so that you get a reminder every single time that I post a new video. And all that being said, let's hop right into this for me that you guys asked. So it says there are 205 questions, so I will try and answer as many as possible, but so we're gonna do this kind of at rapid fire, and I'm just kind of gonna answer as many questions as I possibly can. Renegade Dance Moms asks, is Jordan Sparks your real name? LOL, the T. Just wait a second. So believe it or not, I actually get this question all the time. Yes, Jordan Sparks is my real name. This is my original birth certificate. There it is, Jordan Sparks. It's always been my name ever since I was a baby. The reason why everybody asks that, in case you're wondering, is because there was an American Idol winner named Jordan Sparks who is a singer and I believe a chef at this point in her life, and yeah, we have the same name. Hers is spelt a little bit different, but yes, that is my real name. Dance Mom Addict, shout out to you, one of my #1 supporters here on my channel. Stay sparkly to you, Glen Coco. They asked, what's your daily routine? There's one you can go into the description with. So basically, I usually wake up, check my phone, I pet my little dog if he is sleeping with me, and then I bring him out for a pee. I usually make a coffee, go outside, throw a ball for my other dog, walk around, check my garden to see how my pumpkins are growing. Then I come inside and I check my YouTube and I work on editing a video or making thumbnails or checking my emails, anything that is YouTube and business related for the day. And then I usually go outside, have lunch, and at nighttime I usually make dinner, sit and watch TV with my family for like maybe 15 minutes, clean up the kitchen, check YouTube again, and go to bed. And that is basically my daily routine in a nutshell. At some point in there, I go practice dance and gymnastics and tumbling outside, usually for about 2 hours sometime throughout the day. I like to jump on the trampoline to work all of my stability muscles and strengthen my bones, and that takes a couple hours, but I just kind of do that throughout the day wherever I have time and whenever it's nice and sunny outside. Ava B says, what's your favorite style of dance? Mine is tap or jazz. Congratulations on 35,000. Thank you, Ava B. My favorite style of dance would have to be acro-lyrical, I would say. Anna Wall says, you look like Phil from Modern Family in this pic. Thank you, Anna. I don't know who that is, so I will have to look them up, and I will put a picture here on the screen, but thank you. Kit B says, it'd be cool to hear about your childhood and upbringing if you're comfortable. So I was born in Grand Prairie, Alberta. I grew up really poor in those years. I had my 2 older brothers, Alex and Bryden, and I lived with my mom and my dad. And my dad was just starting to suffer from mental illness at this point in my life. Then I was actually kidnapped by my father when I was 5 years old, and I went to live with my dad in British Columbia with my brother Bryden. He kidnapped the 2 of us, and we lived a super impoverished lifestyle. I lived in a bus at one point, I lived in a van at one point, I switched schools all the time, I lived in a trailer in a 4-plex, and just was all over the place. At one point we lived in a condemned house. Don't know how that happened, but yeah, that was basically my early childhood years in a nutshell. Then I moved back to Grand Prairie with my brother when I was 11 years old on Christmas Day. It was right before I turned 12 years old, and then I started a new school there. Lived a pretty normal life throughout most of my teen years, and then at 19 I moved away to college and I finally started dancing, and that is when everything in my life finally started to fall into place. So that is my childhood in a nutshell. Molly Rose asks, when did you start dancing? So I actually started dancing when I was 19 years old. Before that, I took like a hip-hop class in gym class at school, and ironically the same teacher that came in to teach that hip-hop class ended up being my boss when I was a dance teacher, and I did private ballet lessons with her as well, so it was a weird like full circle moment. But yeah, I did that hip-hop thing when I was in grade 6. It was like a couple weeks in gym class. I really wouldn't say that that's when I started dancing though. I've just always liked gymnastics, and I was always interested in dance, and I always wanted to be in gymnastics and dance, but we couldn't really afford it growing up, and I moved all over the place. It just wasn't really an option for me. And then I started dancing at 19, and I kind of just hit the ground running, started training really hard in a professional setting that was at Sheridan College in Oakville, Ontario, and then I went and studied musical theatre in Brockville, Ontario, and that is where I did some intense dancing, usually like 4 to 6 hours a day for at least 3 years, and ever since then I've just continued to dance every day. Morgan Goodrich asks, could you maybe do improv? I'm a dancer and would love to see that. Yeah, I would love to post more improv dance videos for you guys. I've been posting a bunch of those over on my TikTok. It's at Jordan J. Sparks if you want to check that out. I also post a lot of them on Instagram and sometimes on my YouTube story, but I will hopefully be posting more of that for you guys here on my YouTube channel. If you guys are interested, let me know down in the comments below. So Amber says, what is your most memorable memory when you were dancing as a student? Congrats again. Thank you, Amber. And my most memorable moment. I would say my most memorable moment was probably learning the tap sequence for 42nd Street. So when I was in college, we did 42nd Street, and that was the first time that I got to do a giant old school Broadway tap number, and it was so hard. I had to like work my butt off all semester trying to learn the number. It like killed my self-esteem and killed my confidence. I didn't think that I could do it literally all semester long, and then by the time it was showtime, it was like absolutely perfect. And so I think that that was a really proud moment for me to be able to go dance downstage in a giant filled Broadway house and just know that I killed that number. Natalia Mahalika asks, here's a quick question. Did you want to become something else when you were little? If yes, what? Congrats on 35,000 subscribers. Thank you, Natalia. When I was little, I always wanted to be an Olympic gymnast, a famous actor, or a ballet dancer. I remember watching The Nutcracker for the first time when I was like 3 years old on TV. I saw them all dancing around in pointe shoes and tutus, and everything was pink and everything looked royal, and I was immediately obsessed. And I also wanted to be an orthodontist growing up, so I always was a straight A student all throughout school. I was kind of set on going to school and becoming a dentist and then an orthodontist, and not ever going to become a performer. But by the time I got to high school, I actually ended up going through an apprenticeship program to learn hairstyling, and then I went off and did performing and studied that in college for 4 years, and now I have a YouTube channel. When I was a kid though, YouTube didn't even exist. The internet was still brand new, so I never expected that I would be doing YouTube full-time, that's for sure. Ashton Sky Gorlewski asks, I have a few questions. Who is your favorite person on Dance Moms, and when did you start watching it? Also, what is your favorite dance? I am loving the picture, you look so good in it, and the trees and flowers are so pretty. Thank you. That is when the cherry blossoms were all brand new in North Vancouver, and thank you so much. I watched Dance Moms right from when it very first premiered, season 1. I was the person that was kind of going around and forcing all of my friends to watch it with me, and most of them weren't even dancers or interested in dance, but I kind of just forced them to do it anyways. And from the very beginning, I was a big fan of Brooke and Chloe as dancers, like from the very beginning of season 1. But I kind of had a love-hate relationship with Christi Lukasiak, but at this point in time, Christi is my favorite from the entire show. Out of all of the moms, out of all of the dancers, Christi Lukasiak is an icon. She's my absolute favorite. So Jessica Brown says, where did you learn to dance? How has COVID affected your teaching of dance, and how do you now teach? So in order to answer that, I learned to dance at Sheridan College, at St. Lawrence College, and then I trained at City Dance Corps in Toronto, and I took a bunch of workshops wherever I could, and then I took private lessons when I was teaching here in Grand Prairie at the Grand Prairie Dancers Academy, which is no longer in existence. She shut down the academy last year. But that is basically where I learned to dance. Then I moved to Vancouver and I studied at Harbour Dance Center for a while. But I would say that I mostly learned to dance from those sources and just doing a lot of work and using the tools that I've learned in school and just putting those to use in my own time. A lot of my acro skills and stuff are self-taught. I've only had a few acro lessons in my life. And when it comes to dance teaching, I don't actually teach in a studio anymore. The only teaching that I do is online here with you guys and my online coaching that I don't really do very often anymore, but that is the only teaching that I do, so COVID hasn't really affected it at all. I've just been posting tutorials and stuff on TikTok during this time, and that's about it. So Rainbow Leopard 15 asks, what inspired you to start your own YouTube channel and why? So I remember wanting to start my own YouTube channel in the very beginning because I was inspired by people that created kind of sketch comedy characters. So Shane Dawson and Miranda Sings and Fred from back in the day, like really old OG YouTube days. And so I created my own character and I kind of did that kind of thing. But then when I started this channel in 2014, I actually created this channel because I wanted to inspire other young people like me to have somebody to look up to, because growing up with no YouTube, there was nobody like me that I really could look up to. There was no flamboyant guys, there was no dancers in my hometown. I'd never met anybody that worked in professional musical theater or as a dancer or as a singer. I'd never met anybody with a YouTube channel. I'd never met drag queens. I've never met any gay people growing up, so it just kind of was something that I felt like I was compelled to build a platform and use that platform to kind of be a face for other young people that needed somebody to look up to, and just have visibility for other people like myself, for all those other young people that are growing up feeling like they have nobody to look up to and nobody to relate to, and they just don't feel seen. And aside from that, I wanted to start my YouTube channel to share my dancing and to share my singing, and at that point I was really focused on having a music career, and at this point I would still love to make an album and still love to release some music and stuff, but that's not really my main focus anymore. Taffy Toodles asks, what is your favorite color? And I would have to say that I have a few favorite colors. I definitely love royal purple, I love turquoise, I love hot pink, and I love red. Basically every bright color I love. I love yellow and orange as well, and bright green. I love just the rainbow. So Bella Pullman asks, do you want to travel to any other countries, or have you been to another country? And I would love to travel to so many other countries. High up on my list I would say are Thailand, Australia, Ireland, Colombia, and I have been to Cuba, Mexico, and the United States, and I live in Canada. So Kensley Dubbin asks, how did you learn to dance? My question, oh my god, King, you look so good in that pic. So thank you, Kensley, and this one was already answered, so I'm just gonna move on to the next one. Some Chiganti asks, I love the cherry blossoms around you. Who is your favorite Dance Moms Kid TikToker and mom TikToker? Well, thank you, Soom. And I would say that my favorite Dance Moms Kid TikToker is probably Brooke, because she makes a lot of funny TikToks. And out of the moms, I would say definitely Christi. She is hilarious and she's like the queen of TikTok in general. The Master of Content asks, how old are you? And I am 30 years old. They asked, how long have you been watching Dance Moms for? And I've been watching Dance Moms since season 1, the very beginning. I think it was like 2012 or something maybe? I don't remember. And they said, are you obsessed with any of the dancers? Not really obsessed with any of them. I support all of them, but yeah, not really obsessed with any of them. Oh, I am obsessed, however, with Jonah Glickman. He is my new friend and dancer. He is in the Carolina Ballet, I believe, and he recreates the Dance Moms dances over on TikTok, and they're amazing. So you guys should go check him out. His name is Jonah Glickman. Kelly McKenzie asks, when you aren't dancing or filming for YouTube, what are you doing? Lately, I am hanging out with my family, or gardening, or I am playing with my dogs. I haven't been really going out or seeing any friends or doing anything like that because of COVID, but I am at home now with all of my friends and stuff around me. They're pretty close, just a phone call away, but I haven't really been hanging out with any of them. Dance Mom Addict says, even in normal photos, you look better than anyone will ever. Well, thank you so much. Sunflower11 says, do you like the OGs better than the new girls? And by the way, you literally are the best. I was one of those people that was a little bit hesitant going into season 8 and whenever they wanted to bring on the minis and new dancers, because I really loved and had like a soft spot for the OG dancers. But I ended up actually loving all of the mini dancers that they brought on, and I loved Lily and Eliana, and then I loved this entire new season 8 cast, so I would have to say that I love them all, I support them all, and I wish them all the best. Ella Lynn asks, what's your favorite Dance Moms season? Much love. Well, thank you. Love you too, Ella. And I would have to say my favorite season was probably season 4 or 5 when Dance Moms was like at the height of the show. They had such good choreography back then. They had great training, and that was just like the height of the show. Rochelle R asks, when did you start dancing? And again, I started dancing at 19. Texan Girl says, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I would say, hopefully still doing YouTube if it still exists, or some kind of social media-ish job using my platform for a good use. I hope to still be dancing and still be doing acrobatics, hopefully maybe be married and have a family by that point, who knows. Have lots of dogs, but yeah. Hopefully we still have the sparkly family in 10 years from now. Grace Keene says, how big of a Dance Moms fan are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Also, congrats, beautiful, on 35,000 subs. Thank you so much, Grace, and I would have to say that I'm definitely a 10 out of 10 fan. Like I said, I've been watching Dance Moms since the very beginning. I literally made a career out of reacting to Dance Moms videos. That's when YouTube became a full-time job for me, and I've watched every single episode. I've seen every single special. I'm friends with a lot of the parents from the cast, and I just love and support the entire cast. I'm definitely a huge fan. A little bit close to obsessive. Francesca De Rocha says, what is your favorite Netflix show? And to be completely honest, I haven't watched a Netflix show since season 1 of Riverdale. Bad, I know. But if you guys have any Netflix shows that you think I should check out, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Jolene De Los Santos says, what is your favorite food? I love the trees, by the way. Thank you so much. And I would have to say my favorite food is butter chicken, maybe. And I also love vegetarian lasagna, and my favorite fruit is watermelon. I love food. Raylo Shipper 54 asks, what is your favorite group dance on Dance Moms? By the way, I love you so much. And I would have to say, thank you so much. I love you so much as well. And I love choreography for Bollywood and Fine. I also loved Where Have All the Children Gone and The Waiting Room. There were so many wonderful numbers that I love from the show. So Avia Lynch asks, how long have you been dancing and have you ever been on Broadway? So I've been dancing for 11 years and I have never been on Broadway, but that is definitely on my bucket list. I've been in professional caliber musical theater shows, but I've never been on Broadway. So Daisy Casey asks, I would love to know what movies, TV shows have you been in and who was the nicest celebrity you have met? I would say right off the bat, Dove Cameron was the nicest celebrity that I have ever met. Or maybe Daniel Radcliffe. And what shows have I been in? I've been in so many. Let me just list off a couple. I was in Descendants 2, I was in Carrie the movie, I was in Pixels with Adam Sandler, I was in The F Word or What If with Daniel Radcliffe, I was on Riverdale, seasons 1 and 2, I was on Covert Affairs, I was on Suits, I was on Degrassi The Next Generation, I was on I'll Follow You Down, I was on the movie Wonder with Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson, and Jacob Tremblay, I was in The Flash, I was in Supergirl, I was on Batwoman, I was on Escape from Mr. Leoncello's Library. I was in way too many movies and TV shows to count, usually just little roles in the background or dancing in the background, but yeah, those are just a couple of them that I could think of off the top of my head. Antisocial Theater Kid says, what's your favorite Maddie solo and Chloe solo? I'm a new subscriber, so I don't really know much about this channel, but I'm excited to keep watching your videos. Thank you so much. I would say that my favorite Maddie solos were Fool Me Once and her very last solo, The Hostage. Those were two of my favorite Maddie solos. And Chloe solos, I loved Silence, and I also loved Chloe's solo Lucky Star. I think that was probably my favorite Chloe solo. Serena says, you look so happy and healthy. Thank you so much, Serena. Taylor Stevens asks, what made you want to start dancing? I was originally inspired, like I was saying, by watching ballets when I was really young. I was always inspired by watching the Olympics gymnastics, and just any movies that had dance in them, like Mary Poppins and Annie. I was obsessed with Center Stage, and then when So You Think You Can Dance came out, I loved that show. And when I found out that you could start training as a dancer as an adult, it kind of started to change all of my beliefs, because I used to think that I was too old to start after like 12 years old, and that's why I never started until I was 19. Because during my teen years, I totally could have worked a part-time job and paid for dance lessons, but I never did that, and it's because I had this belief in my head that it was too late. And so when the High School Musical series came out and I learned that Zac Efron had just started training in singing and dancing, even though he'd been acting for years, I kind of was like, oh, and a light went off and I was like, I'm gonna do this for a living and I'm gonna start training hardcore right now. Jasmine Jenkinson asks, what was it like being on Descendants? And I was on Descendants too, in case you guys didn't know, and that was my favorite film experience that I've ever had in my entire life. Dove Cameron walked right up into my face and told me that I had the most beautiful eyes she'd ever seen. I loved working with Kenny Ortega. That was on my bucket list since I was like 16 years old, and not something that I ever thought would ever come true or ever happen. It was just kind of like a weird, surreal, pinch me, I'm in a dream moment. And when he called me by name and gave me direction by name, I was like, what? How does this man remember my name? Like, what? This is somebody that I've been obsessed with since the High School Musical and Hannah Montana and Jonas Brothers days. So that was definitely the coolest experience ever. He was honestly the best. He even invited me to go watch like the Tony Awards with him at his hotel over Instagram in the comments section, and I was like, what? Is this for real? He wasn't being creepy or anything. He was just literally inviting people over to go watch the Tony Awards with him because we were all working on the show at the same time. But overall, I would say that that show was so much fun. There was a lot of cool 3D effects. I got to meet a whole bunch of new friends on that show. It was amazing to actually work on a Disney set, and it was a dream come true. That was when I actually moved to Vancouver. I had just been visiting in the summer, and then I came home to Grand Prairie, and then I got the call from an agent that they wanted me to go back down to do Descendants 2, so I literally packed all my bags, flew back down to Vancouver, and moved there so that I could do that movie, and did not regret it. Emily Gilliver asks, what is your advice for improving flexibility? And I would say to stretch every day and to use all of your movements and your full motion of your spine every single day, but not push yourself too hard that you end up becoming injured. Make sure that you don't dance or practice anything until you're nice and warmed up, and make sure that you do a nice stretch when you're done dancing or anything and you're nice and warm. And that should help you get super flexible super fast. Holly Lambert asks, how old were you when you started dance? Honestly, there was like 20 people that asked this question, so I was 19, just to answer that again. Morgan Smith asks, what is your favorite dance move? And I would say that my signature dance move is probably Alice Cone turns or a forearm stand. I do them pretty much every single day and pretty much every single time that I'm improvising. But I love front aerials. I just can't personally do any aerial acrobatics at the moment because I'm currently going through like a mental block, and I need a trainer and a nice foam pit and a gymnastics gym to get over that. But I would love to be able to get my aerial acrobatics, front aerial, side aerial, and just like back handspring and back tuck and stuff like that, but right now, just too much mental block. Rochelle R asks, is YouTube your full-time job or do you have another job, and if you do, what is it? And at the moment, YouTube is my full-time job. I usually do film from like April until October, and I do movies or TV shows or commercials or whatever pops up, but right now I've just been doing YouTube as my full-time job. Olivia Doe Girl asks, are you transgender? P.S. Love you from your biggest fan, Olivia. And thank you, Olivia, and no, I am not transgender. I'm just a boy or a man, a he. Cassie B.V. asks, can you cover a dance from BTS? And I feel like one day I'm gonna have to cover a dance from BTS, and it's probably going to be Danger or Fire because you guys ask me all the time to cover a BTS dance. Georgia Padley Ligo says, what would you say to your past self and your future self? And that would be just go for it and stop being so insecure. Like, you only have one life, live it today. Life is not a dress rehearsal, as Peter Mon always says. You only have one life though. Just don't be so shy, don't be so scared, just do what you want to do and do it today. And it's never too late to start. Girly Can't Talk asks, do you have a wife/husband and children, and do you have any siblings? And I do not have a wife or a husband. I'm not dating anybody. I'm completely single. And I do have 4 brothers. One of them passed away, so I have 3 brothers that are currently living. No sisters. Bassem Shobra asks, are you gay? And I am pansexual, basically gay. And the last question that I'm going to be answering is from Isabel Lunford, and she says, sparkles? Seriously? And yes, we are the sparkles and nothing is going to ever stop us. If you like this video, make sure to give it a great big thumbs up. If you left one of your questions, hopefully I answered it. If you have any other questions that you would like me to answer, let me know down in the comment section, and hopefully I can answer as many of them as possible. I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for leaving your questions for me. I'm sorry that it took me so freaking long to finally film this video and answer them for you guys, but that is it for this video. But before we go, we just hit 40,000 sparkles in the constellation, and at 50,000 I am going to be doing a special giveaway on my channel, so let me know down in the comment section what I should give away for that giveaway. And if you're brand new to my channel, make sure to smash that juicy red subscribe button and tap the bell notification so that you never miss a video every single time that I upload. And as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I will catch you guys in the next video, and happy Pride Month to all of you guys. Bye!